Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to Glitter Goddess Yoga. Let me just fix this really quickly. Okay. My name is Anne or Anthony. Today we'll be doing Revolution Flow. This has become the weekly flow that I'm offering. Sometimes I'll switch things up a little bit here and there. Revolution Flow has a lot of twists. First, we do a nice gentle warm-up to warm up the spine. Then we kind of slowly get into a little bit more intense poses with some major restoration in between. So yeah, we'll work through, a little bit of some tough poses, but giving a lot of moments for rest and for equilibrate the body, which can feel really nice. For this flow, I like to suggest having a pillow, a blanket, and some water. I'm gonna take some right now. I'd like to shout out Providence Community Libraries for making this possible. I'd like to shout out I think it was 2 weeks ago, we did a raising money for an organization in New York City. That went really well. This week, if you'd like to send us a donation, you can Venmo us at the Glitter Goddesses or DM us, hit us up on Facebook if you'd like to donate in any other way. Of course, as usual, because I can't respond to your actual body in real life, please be really super intentional about the ways that you get into poses, get out of poses, and how you hold your body in certain poses. If anything makes you feel too uncomfortable, you can always go into child's pose. You want to avoid snaps, pinches, and pop sensations. So yeah, just take care of yourself. After the flow, if you want to think about throughout the flow, like what kind of feedback you might want to give, what modifications work best for you, what you'd like to see next time, we're definitely always open to hearing that. You might notice behind me, we have BLM, Black Lives Matter letters. These were done with my youth at AS220 during a community paint that I hosted. So because the rain brought them inside, thought it would be a nice background for yoga. It might be backwards for you, sorry about that. Yeah, so enjoy that. And we'll get started. To begin, we're gonna start seated. If you find yourself in a comfortable seat, find a nice, tall and long spine, reaching long with the neck. And you can just center in the breath here. Notice how you're inhaling and exhaling. I'll also mention and apologize for the beep sound you'll hear every 35 seconds. Our alarm system has been doing that lately. Working on fixing that, so I know that can be disruptive, but here it is. It can be an opportunity for us to zen in, just go inward and work with our environment. So as we're here, noticing the breath, you can start to elongate each breath. Start to find, let's say 4 seconds of an inhale to start. And every time you take a nice, deep, slow inhale, work on matching the length of that inhale with your exhale. Work on finding a balance here with the breath. Really notice and take in the sensation of the breath. Take a moment to sit even taller and longer in the spine, maybe engaging in the lower back, maybe opening up the chest, opening up the heart, allowing more room for the inhale here. And while we're here at the start of our practice today, take a moment to reflect on ways that you would like to shift your perspective. Consider this a moment to gather some thoughts on how you might want to reframe, reshape the way you see something or someone. Perhaps you'd like to take on the perspective of a person or group of people that you don't relate to, feel indifferent to. While we're here, we'll start to take even longer inhales, maybe 5 seconds this time. Super slow and controlled with this reflection. And with this on your mind, you can allow this thought, allow whatever you're reflecting on now to move you throughout this practice. Allow it to sit in your body as it is in your mind in this moment. And we'll move into our first pose. We'll bring the left hand to our right knee and the right hand behind us. Placed on the ground, we can start to twist all the way to the right. You can think about using these long 5-second inhales to straighten out the back, to find more length in the neck, and to turn the chin all the way to the right, deepening in the twist on the exhales. Notice when you reach as far as you can in this twist, you might find a different sensation in the spine. Still reflecting on maybe how this time you would like to shift your perspective. And when you're ready, you can slowly, on an exhale, unwind. We'll inhale to press the chest forward, 5 long seconds in, maybe opening the throat. And we'll round the spine, chin to chest on the exhale. We'll inhale to raise the spine back up again. We'll twist to the other side, right hand to left knee. Placing the left hand behind us again, we can use the inhale to sit tall and long. Use the exhale to go deeper into the twist, turning as much as you can all the way to the left. Noticing in this moment, ways maybe you can take this twist to shift your perspective, to reflect on what perspective you'd like to shift. Take a moment to notice maybe some discomfort in the spine and the lower hips as you twist deeper and deeper. When you're ready, you can unwind. Again, we'll inhale long, 5 seconds to press the chest forward. And exhale to round the spine, chin to chest. On the inhale, we'll sit back up, finding a nice, long and tall spine. If you're sitting with your legs crossed, I'll give you the challenge of switching whichever leg is most comfortable to sit with in front. Just swap that out. We'll find a nice, tall, long spine again, shoulders back. And we'll take a few breaths here, feeling into the spine. Keeping this moment seated. Just going to adjust. Still allowing that 5 seconds inhaling and 5 seconds exhaling. Keeping this consistency and balance on the inhales and exhales. For our next pose, we'll start to turn the head all the way to the left. Keeping the right shoulder down and back. We're going to grab the back of the head with the left arm, the left hand. Just let the elbow sink without putting any extra weight here. Just allowing the elbow to hang heavy. And from here, we'll turn the ear toward the shoulder, grabbing the side of the head, stretching out the whole right side of the neck. You can keep the right shoulder down and back. And release. We'll bring the head back to center. Let's inhale, raise the shoulders up, squeezing them toward the ears. Exhale, matching the length of that inhale, dropping the shoulders down. Inhale again, nice, long, deep breath in, shoulders up. And we'll bring the shoulders down slowly on the exhale. One more time. Inhaling, shoulders up. And exhale, shoulders down. Let's turn the head to the right. Here we can keep that left shoulder down and back. As we grab the back of the head with the right hand, remembering to keep deep, long inhales, slow, controlled exhales. And then we'll turn the ear toward the shoulder, grabbing the side of the head. And we'll release. We'll inhale again, raise the shoulders up, slow and controlled. Exhale to let the shoulders drop. From here, we'll drop the right hand on our right side and lift the left arm up and over. We can think about keeping the left hip down on the floor, opening up the left side of the body, maybe rotating in the left wrist here. And when you're ready, you can switch over to the other side. Keeping the right hip down, rotating in the right wrist. And we'll come back to center. From here, we'll bring the arms out wide. We'll cross the right arm over the left and give yourself a big hug. And then from here, we can straighten out the right arm and bend the left, keeping the right shoulder down, engaging with the right arm against the left. And we'll do the same thing on the other side by bringing the arms out wide one more time. Excuse me, crossing the left over the right. Give yourself a big hug. And then bend in the right, straighten the left, keeping the left shoulder down. and release. From here, if you're not on your knees, I'm going to suggest that. It's okay to do this sitting cross-legged as well. I like to suggest knees for this. First, I like to begin by noticing what it feels like on my feet. If you need any support on the feet or the ankles, I like to roll up a blanket, have them underneath the ankles, or to stuff one above the ankles underneath my butt. Either can feel really good sometimes. Right now, I'm just going to sit without the support, but I always suggest that for this pose. We can grab the knees, open up the chest, press the chest forward on the inhale, and here you can open up by letting the head fall back, open the throat, and then when you close in, you can bring the chin to chest, rounding the spine. You can think about reaching the hands toward the floor, and then inhale again to puff the chest forward again. Open heart, broaden the shoulders, open the throat, and then slowly on your exhale, rounding the spine, maybe tucking the hips forward. 2 more times here, we're going to open up on the inhale, and close slowly with control on the exhale. 1 more round, opening up, engage in the lower spine, bringing the shoulder blades closer together, and then slowly on the exhale, move the shoulder blades further apart, reaching the hands toward the floor. And let's come back to neutral. From here, we'll just roll up, open the wrists, warming them up before we go into tabletop. Maybe changing the rotation. And then from here, facing the fingers toward your body, you can lean forward and start to open up the wrists, pressing into the floor, maybe adding some topical heat. And once you've opened up the wrists, I suggest taking a sip of water before we go into the middle section of our flow. We're going to meet in tabletop. For tabletop, I like to suggest a blanket or pillow just beneath the knees. And I also always mention knees to be stacked below the hips, shoulders to be stacked right above the wrists. And here we're going to start with some cat-cow. So we'll inhale to press the chest forward again, reaching the hips up and back, engaging in the lower back. And then round the spine, bring the chin to the chest, tuck the hips forward, pressing the mat away from the body. Inhaling again, opening up. Find a nice, slow, and controlled breath here, matching the breath to the body movement. Can help with circulation. It helps with that kind of conversation between the body and mind. So go at your own pace here with your inhales and exhales. After your next exhale, we're going to press into the floor with the hands and just reach the right foot back, tucking the toes. And you can bounce into this, opening up the calf. And again, using that engagement in the lower back to warm up the lower spine, we'll raise the right leg. And you can think about having a straight line between the heel and the top of the head. So your gaze can be down between the hands, right between the thumbs. And you can stay here, or you can come down to the elbows, lifting up a little bit higher. And from this pose, I'm gonna open up the suggestion, no need to, just a suggestion to go into child's pose and drop out of this whenever you feel like you need to. Another modification here in this pose, another way to open up here is to bend in the right leg, open up the hip. This is giving us now kind of a gentle twist here. We have some control on how much we lean into our left side space. Again, you can drop out of this pose at any point to go into child's pose. You can lift that knee up a little bit higher, open up the hips a little bit higher if it feels good for you. And at this point, if you haven't yet gone into child's pose, you can drop the knee down, reach the hips back over the ankles, and stretch the arms up overhead. This is a place where we can find that equilibrium I was talking about, allowing the breath to just find its balance. Maybe using a slow count on the inhale and exhale. When you're ready, we'll press back up through tabletop. Again, checking in with your stack. And then you can send the left leg back, opening up the calf on the left side. And here we'll do the same thing. So we'll lift that left leg. Holding this pose here, we can engage in the whole left back, especially the lower back. Engaging in the glutes, reaching the heel as far away from the body as possible. And then if you'd like, you can come down to elbows, lifting the leg even higher. And now to go into that gentle twist, you can bend the knee, opening up in the hip, leaning a little bit more to the right elbow. Finding that slow, controlled breath while you're here. And at any point, you can drop out of this pose, going into child's pose, by bringing the knees a little bit wider than the hips, touching the toes behind us, and then reaching the hips back. While we're here in child's pose, you can take a moment to find that equal inhale and exhale one more time. Take this opportunity to restore. And before coming out of child's pose, we'll reach the hands over to the upper right side, stretching the arms far overhead. And we can think about the left palm being stuck into the floor, reaching the left hip down and back, letting the head hang heavy here. And then we'll crawl through the center, reaching to the upper left side. And as if your right palm stuck into the floor, you can reach that right hip down and back. And when you're ready, we'll come back to the center and press back up through tabletop. From here, we'll send both legs out this time for plank. Here, we're working to keep a nice tall, long spine, reaching the neck long. Again, your gaze can stay down between the thumbs. One modification you can take here is to lower the knees if keeping the knees up doesn't feel good for you. Holding this pose, we can slowly lower down to the floor. And once your entire body has fallen onto the mat, just take a moment to again find that equal breath in and out. And on the next inhale, we'll raise up into Sphinx pose. Here we're pressing the elbows into the floor and they're stacked directly under the shoulders. We can press the hands into one another, engage in the lower back, pressing the hips into the floor, maybe pointing the toes, locking the knees, engaging in both legs. We can even start to almost pull the mat toward us, reaching, finding length in the neck, as if someone's pulling a string attached to the top of your head, pulling upward. Our shoulders are as far from our ears as we can make them possible. Our lower back is engaged. Our hips are pressing into the floor. Our breath is slow and controlled. Notice here the relationship between the shoulders and the neck. Notice here the relationship between where your gaze is and how your head is sitting. Really notice the sensation in the spine, what it feels like to hold this pose to warm up the lower back. And when you'd like to lower back down, feeling into this sensation, we'll take a couple breaths here. And when you're ready, we'll press the hands just beneath the shoulders to press up into our plank one more time. And then from our plank, we can reach the hips up and back, stretching the ankles down toward the floor for a downward dog. Maybe alternating legs, pressing the heels toward the floor, opening up the calves, opening up the back of the legs, finding length in the spine. And then from here, you can draw the hands toward the feet for a forward fold. In forward folds here, you can keep a micro bend in the knees. And from here, we'll slowly roll up the spine as if the arms are super heavy. Slowly coming to standing. When you are standing, you can roll the shoulders back. Get grounded in the feet. You can open up the palms. Feeling strong in the stance here. This pose is Tadasana, or mountain pose. From here, we'll inhale to raise the arms up and over. for extended mountain pose. And then we can swan dive down by bending at the hips, keeping a nice flat spine for forward fold. We'll inhale from here to press against the shins for flat back, reaching the hips up and back. And exhale, forward fold again. Slow, controlled inhale to reverse swan dive back up into extended mountain pose. And exhale, arms back down to by our sides for Tadasana. Inhale one more time, arms up overhead. Exhale, diving down to forward fold. Inhale, flat back, reaching the hips up and back, like in cow. Exhale, forward fold. We can bend in the knees here. And from here, keeping our bent knees, we're going to go up into chair pose. So like we did with Sphinx, we're going to engage in the lower back. Think about how we pressed up into the floor in Sphinx. Here you can use your hands into your knees to find some support. We're finding as much reach in the lower back as we can. And then from here, we're going to go into prayer with our hands and turn the torso over to the right, pressing the left elbow into the right knee for a twist. Finding a slow, controlled breath here. Noticing how you might be able to cultivate some strength in this pose as you shift your perspective, looking down between the hands and the heart. When you're ready, you can exhale back to forward folds. Straighten the legs for your next inhale. And bend on the exhale. Straightening again on the inhale. Bending on the exhale. Straightening again on the inhale. And bend on the exhale. We'll inhale to raise back up to extended mountain pose slowly. And find a slow exhale to come back to mountain pose, opening the palms, finding grounding in our feet. From here, we'll inhale, raise the arms up overhead. Exhale, swan dive down for forward fold. Inhale, flat back, reaching the hips up and back. Exhale, forward fold, bending in the knees. And on the next inhale, we'll press back up into chair. Prayer pose with the hands, and then we'll turn to the other side, pressing the right elbow into the left knee. Again, finding that reach with the hips up and back, just like we do in cat-cow. When you're in cow position, slow and controlled breaths here. And whenever you're ready, we can drop out. We'll come back to forward fold. We'll straighten on the inhales. And bend on the exhale. Straighten on the inhale. And bend on the exhale. One more time, straightening on the inhale. And bend on the exhale, letting the head hang heavy here. Another slow, deep inhale here for extended mountain pose. Noticing every movement in your back as you come back to standing. And exhale, arms back down by your sides. We'll take a couple breaths here, standing. Maybe take a sip of water. From here, I'm going to suggest some support. So if you have a pillow or stack of pillows, we'll go into some twisted lunges, and these lunges can feel really, really good with some extra support beneath us. And to prove that, you know what, let's remove the pillow at first. And to start, we're going to step a couple feet ahead of us, thinking about where you think your lunge might feel best. And here, as we step one foot in front of the other, we might notice that that back heel feels a little uncomfortable. It's okay to turn that heel as if we're going into warrior one. So you can have that heel turned. We're going to bend in the knee and then pop that heel up, coming down into a high lunge. Just notice how that feels on the left hip. Notice how it feels after working that lower back. Here we want to make sure that the right knee is stacked just above the ankle. And then we'll come down for low lunge. So reaching our hands to frame the right foot. Here in low lunge, we can think about still pressing that left hip forward, reminding ourselves of the strength in our right leg. We can use that to press ourselves up into high lunge again, using our knee to press ourselves up. Some people like to reach the hands up and over. Some people kind of like to extend in the back, go pulsing the arms, whatever feels good for you here. And then before we go into our twist, I'll invite you, if you do have your support, to drop that just below the knee and then let your knee fall. So here you can come back up into high lunge again, still pressing that left hip forward. I would say that's probably one of the most important parts here. And then with that, we'll drop back down, frame the foot, reach the right hand up for a twist. Noticing again the strength in the legs, pressing the left hip forward, slow and controlled breaths here. And when you're ready, rotate the arm back down. What we'll do from here, now that we have this support, is reach back, bending in the left leg and straightening the right. Here, with this hamstring stretch, it can feel a little bit intense, so if you need to pick the whole upper body up, that's okay. If this is as far as you can go, that's totally great. And if you want to lower down, reaching the chest forward toward the knee, that's okay too. Either way, we're flexing the whole right foot, keeping the toes up toward the ceiling, and protecting the knee, pressing the ball of the foot into the floor. Breathing through the sensation here. And when you're ready, we'll bend back into the right, pressing back up for a high lunge by lifting our knee up from the pillow. Again, come into terms with the strength that we have here in the legs. We'll drop that right heel down behind us and burst open into warrior. Coming to center with the breath here. And then we'll just straighten the right leg, face those toes in the same direction as the left. And what we'll do is just turn our whole bodies over to the other side for lunge on the left side. So of course, we're gonna drop down for high lunge, pressing the right hip forward this time. Again, checking in the stack, knee above ankle. Taking a breath here. And then going to high lunge. Again, you have the option, raising the arms up. You can extend in the back. You can use the support of your leg. Holding that however long you'd like to. Whenever you're done, you can drop your support beneath your knee, dropping the knee down. Notice how the lunge feels with support here, maybe popping back up into your high lunge. Now, before we go into our twist on this side, let's think about stabilization. Think about the strength in our lower half. Think about feeling rooted and grounded. We'll press that right arm, the right hand into the floor, and raise the left up and over, opening up to the other side, feeling a little bit stronger, a little more rooted. When you're ready, we'll drop that hand back down to frame the foot. Again, thinking about that strength, we'll pop back up, drop that heel behind us, and burst open into warrior on the left side. From here, we'll face both toes to one another and fold forward for wide-legged forward folds. I'm going to turn myself so y'all can see me this way. It can be nice to use your support here as well, pushing into your pillow or blocks, whatever you have for support, maybe letting the elbows fall onto them. Here you can just let the head feel heavy. Just let the upper body hang down, allow gravity to do its work here. Notice how you're pressing into the floor with the feet. Try pushing into the floor with all points of the foot. We'll take a couple more breaths here, slow and controlled. When you're ready, we'll press back up, crawling the feet closer to one another. Let's take one more forward fold with our legs a little bit closer. Maybe hip width distance, maybe a little bit closer than that. And again, just let the head hang heavy here. And when you're ready to bend the knees, just slowly make your way down to the floor. And once you're seated, spread both legs out long. Reaching the chest forward, finding length in the spine. We'll take a nice big inhale here. And on the exhale, fold forward, maybe grabbing the shins, the ankles, or the feet. Just notice how the lower back feels here. If this is too intense, you can try to loosen up a little bit in the lower back. Try to let the elbows hang toward the floor. And if it's not enough, you can try to reach more toward the feet, maybe pulling on the feet or pulling on the ankles. And then from here, we'll roll up the spine. We'll bend the left foot against the right thigh. We'll do that same forward fold. Here, we're flexing the right foot, toes pointing up toward the ceiling, engaging in the whole right foot, the whole right leg. And you can try to reach the chest toward the knee. Notice that 4 count breath in and out. Maybe it's more like 2 or 3. And try to bring it to 4 or 5, slowing down the inhales and exhales. When you're ready, we'll pop back up. Let's bend this hip closed, so bringing the knee up. We're gonna hug the knee with the right hand, with the right arm, bring the left arm behind us, and go into a twist all the way over to the left. Here you can think about using the inhales again to reach tall and long, using the exhales to twist a little bit deeper. You might notice in this twist, compared to our first twist at the start of our practice, you feel a little more open. You might notice your ability to see more of the perspective you were looking for. You might be able to reach the neck a little bit further than before. You might be able to shift just a little bit deeper. We'll take one more breath here, softening in the upper back, in the shoulders and in the chest. You can allow the twist to kind of move closer to the core, starting your twist closer to the hips. And when you're ready, you can release on an exhale. We'll take a breath as we swap feet. Folding forward over the left leg. Again, we're flexing the left to protect the knee, toes up toward the ceiling. Just pressing the chest forward toward the knee. It's okay to round the spine if that feels best for you. Our hamstrings, especially our legs, they do a lot of work to keep us stabilized and in place, keep us grounded. So it's important that we find some flexibility every once in a while. This flexibility, this mobility that we're building in our practice is going to allow us to revolve in the body with more ease, with less tension. And in fact, it will allow us to address that tension that we might be feeling. So this flexibility that we're working through in our hamstrings and our backs and our bodies, it will allow us to twist deeper, to find a little bit more of an extension in our twist, to find more length. So being flexible in our life can be a really good way to allow us to open up and shift in the same way. So we'll bring the knees, the right knee up toward the ceiling, hugging the left arm around the knee, going into a twist on the other side. Again, using the inhales to maybe press the chest forward, finding that length in the spine, engaging in the lower back before you exhale to twist all the way to the right. Again, noticing how the spine might have a little more ease, twisting deeper. Taking a moment here to reflect on what or who you'd like to shift perspectives with. And in this, as we're breathing, slow inhales and exhales, we're just noticing our thoughts here. No need to go too deep. No need to overthink, to plan, or to calculate. Just notice, just reflecting. One more inhale, relaxing in the chest, relaxing in the neck, relaxing in the shoulders, exhaling to go deep. And you can unwind when you're ready. We'll bring the soles of the feet together. And just for a moment, we'll grab either the toes or the ankles and just press the chest forward, opening up the shoulders, open up the heart. You can even open up the throat, lifting the chin a little bit. And on your exhale, you can round the spine. Just let go of all your weight. Let your head hang heavy here. And from here, we're gonna stretch the legs out long. And we are going to find ourselves flat on our backs, setting up our support next to our knees. So here, flat on our backs, we'll bring the feet to the floor and start to windshield wipe the knees back and forth. Just opening up the hips and lower back a little bit. And then letting the knees fall on our pillow on the right side. We're gonna bring the arms out to a T. And then we'll turn the head all the way to the left, gazing over the left hand. Taking in a deep, long inhale, matching the length of that inhale with the exhale. And to go deeper in the twist, we'll keep the left leg bent, straightening out the right. Make whatever adjustments you might need to feel comfortable in this twist. Allowing the support to keep our bodies, to keep our spine aligned. This support tells our nervous system that it's okay to relax and just to release and breathe. And if you're looking for some more sensation in this twist, you can remove that support. See if your body feels okay without the support. Test it out. If not, bring the pillow back in. But test out what it's like to remove that pillow, remove your support. Turn the chin all the way over to the left. And when you're ready, unwind, bringing the spine flat to the floor. We'll bend both the knees and hug them into the chest. And as we release out, we'll drop our feet down to the floor and move our pillows to the other side of our body. So popping the pillow on the left side, dropping the knees onto the pillow, bringing the arms out to a T again. We'll turn the head over to the right side. And from here, to go into this twist, keeping the right bent, we'll stretch out the left. Deep, slow, controlled inhales and exhales can allow you and your nervous system to really release. Allow this pose to be restorative. And if you'd like the challenge of going deeper into the twist, you can remove your support. This might take you out of alignment just a little bit, but it is allowing you to go deeper. So if you need your support again after that depth, you can grab that, you can take that back. Keeping the breath centered, keeping that balance of inhales and exhales. And when you're ready, we'll find ourselves flat against the floor again. Limbs out. I'll invite you to just let the legs flop open, let the feet hang. I invite you to plant one palm to the floor and open up the other. Moving into Shabasana here, the work in this pose is to do no work at all. So just allow the shoulders to sink into the floor. You can use the exhales to allow the hips to relax, the thighs, the calves, the ankles, and feet. Take the opportunity on the exhales to let the head hang heavy, releasing any tension in the neck. Allow the exhales to release any tension in the shoulders, the arms. To let go even more, you can think about relaxing the jaw, the eyebrows. Allow the breath just to fold in and out of the body without control. Take a moment to notice the alignment in the spine, starting from the deep lower hips, from the tailbone, all the way up to the top of the head. Take a moment to reflect on how those deep twists, those revolutions, might have allowed energy to flow in spaces that it didn't before. Take a moment to notice how important the backbone is, the spine, in keeping our bodies upright, and keeping us firm and strong. Noticing how alignment can allow us to feel sensation. Noticing how alignment can allow us to find strength. Noticing with that strength how we can open up the way we did in Lunge, how we can use that strength to shift our perspectives, to look to our environment for inspiration. In our last couple of breaths in Shavasana, I'll invite us to think about the healing and restoration that we also need. How we can take a child's pose throughout our day, a forward fold. How we can give ourselves the opportunity to just breathe, let ourselves just be for a moment before we get back to the revolution. And bringing some sensation and awareness back to the body, wiggling the fingers, wiggle the toes, and curl up on one side before pressing up into a seated position for closing breaths. And when you do meet me here seated, find a nice, tall, aligned backbone. And we'll take our 4 closing breaths together. You can rest your hands in your lap, have your hands at heart center or resting over the heart. A breath for the ancestors that we bring into our practice, breathing in and out. A breath for the indigenous people who were here before colonization, breathing in and out. A breath to appreciate the support that we receive, breathing in and out. And a breath for your individual intention, wherever you'd like to shift your perspective, revolve, breathing in and out. The loving human in me bows down to the loving human in you. Namaste. Thank you for practicing with us today. Again, shout out to Providence Community Libraries. And again, donations. We are available on Venmo. You can use the Glitter Goddesses on Venmo or DM us if you'd like to support or donate in any way. Check out Providence Community Library's YouTube page. It's where we go live, as well as Facebook. They have a ton of other virtual offerings there as well. Check them out. You can also check out the Glitter Goddess Facebook, where we're posting not only these yoga videos where they're kept, we also have some other fun stuff happening, so check that out as well. Other things. My brain. I'm thinking a lot about revolution now. If you want to send us any feedback, we're always open to that. We're here every Tuesday at 4:30 and on Fridays at 9 a.m. Bye. Thanks for joining.